Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Ox. Jack and Lady still in Lake Jackson because we're still keeping social distance. Can't say the C word, man. Today we're going to do something that's a hometown favorite. This is really a southern thing. And I get to beat the shit out of some meat, which will be fun. So, be sure to stay tuned. We'll get into that in just a second. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell, do the notification thing. It's YouTube. It's not new. And also check out our link for merchandise down in the doobly-doo, man, because we very much appreciate it. And this is our little business. This is how we keep going and doing this kind of stuff, trying to help you guys out. So, let's just jump right into it, man. Chicken fried steak. Alright, so you're going to want some of this cheap steak. Now, you can get these round ones, man. Thin is fine because you're going to have to mash them anyway. These are already relatively thin. And I was able to get two for like $4.90. You're going to need flour and egg, which that's what makes this chicken fried steak. You're also going to need some oil to be able to do that. But that's all you need for the chicken fried steak. The rest of this stuff is very much optional. So, alright, I'm going to do some mashed potatoes in a bag. It's like $1, man. So it's a lot easier. I can do them, and we've done them. There'll be a link down the doobly-doo to do them from scratch. Brown gravy. Now, I know that traditionally you do this with the cream gravy. I do regular cream gravy and sawmill gravy, okay. But brown gravy is what I prefer, and I don't know how to do it. And so since somebody wants to come teach me how to do it, salt, pepper, as usual. It's an option. You know, it's very American. Just have it on the table because you're going to want to use either one of those if you want to. And then just to round these off, I found these little like single-serve cans of corn and green beans. Something that was just traditional sides when we used to go down to the Busy Bee in Santa Fe, if anybody knows what I'm talking about there. You can get the bigger cans. They prepare the same way. So here we go. So now get you your steaks out. These are already going to be like relatively, flat. So go ahead and salt these while they're down here. Or if you prefer, you can put some tenderizer. This is a tenderizer. Use the spiky bit and then just beat the hell out of it. And they always said I'd get kicked off YouTube for beating my meat on camera, but I found the pot. So you get it nice and mushed out, right? Tenderize the crap out of it. Just beat it with that hammer and give it one to grow on. And then you want to do both sides. Salt and pepper if you got them. I just did a little bit of salt to help tenderize a little bit. And then you're good. So get you a bowl and at least start with 2 eggs. I think I ended up using 3. But if it's not enough, you can always add more later, but you don't want to overdo it. So I started with 2. Put them in a bowl. Now get you a fork or a whisk if you got it, but I just use a fork. Puncture those yolks and then just beat it. Now through the magic of TV, I'm speeding through this, but it just helps to pass the time. Nobody wants to watch me do this for 2 minutes. So beat it until it runs through the fork relatively easily. It's always going to have that long viscous feel to it, but do that. Your flour, you want to keep this by. This is cooking. This is not baking. So I use a 1/3 cup, but I only use like half of it. I just put you a little bit down at the bottom of your plate, so the bottom is covered, and we're going to try to keep coming from that pool, but we're going to dump some from the tank. So once you get that out there, spread it out, and I'm going to show you how to set this up as stations. So you got this, you got your eggs, you got your flour, and then you got your clean plate where you're going to put your meat when you're done. So we're going to do this twice. It's going to be twice battered. You can do it more. You can add milk to the eggs, which will make the crust, the batter a little thicker when you put it on there. But just run your steak through there. So make sure it gets a little egg all over all of it. And then put it down on your flour. Now, if you got a big enough plate, you can kind of lay it down and then flop it back and forth, top and bottom. And you got to get a nice coat on it. See? But this one on my plate, which is that plate print that everybody grew up with, I got those plates for my mother, I believe, back when I just got out of college and I got my own place. So I've had those through hurricanes and all kind of stuff. So if you don't have enough or it's not sticking real well, just go ahead and put some more flour on top, right? And just pat it in there. Your hands are going to get messy, man. You were basically making, paper mache with your fingers here. So don't bother if it's going to have little spots in it like that. We're going to do it the second time, and it usually covers most of that. So set it to a plate, set it to the side. Go ahead and do both your steaks or just the one if you got it. And then once you've got them both done once, we're going to do it again. This is going to be the twice done. Optional, don't have to do it. But if you don't have enough egg, like I said, if it was running low, I went ahead and added a 3rd one. Just because I didn't want to run out of egg halfway through this. Beat it. It'll just mix right with the rest of it. So it doesn't feel left out because it wasn't there for the first run through or whatever like that. You don't want your eggs feeling sad or emotionally distant. So go ahead and take it and just do exactly what you did before. Run it through the egg. The flour and stuff will stick to it from the first run. These were such cheap steaks, they started coming apart because I mashed them. Don't worry, they'll stick together. The the sinews and tendons, I guess, all the fibers that run through there, it'll kind of hold it together. If it does break it apart, then you just got a third smaller chicken fried steak. If part of it didn't get wet or it was slipping through your fingers, just go ahead and add it with your hand. And again, flour it again. Again, your hand's going to get super messy, man. You're going to end up wanting to fry it into your fingertips and eat it, but don't do it. I had a friend growing up. He worked at a fireworks station. I always thought he'd lost them to fireworks, but come to find out, he was making chicken fried steak and just fried his fingertips and just didn't stop eating when he got to the end of the fork. So get you nice on here, and then when you pick it up, all that excess flour will run off of there. See? Whoop. Right? This isn't perfect gourmet. This isn't picture perfect, but man, this is good stuff. It's going to cook up really nice. Make sure you get your nice flour all over it, and then set it aside. Now you can refrigerate the steaks in between here, and it'll help that egg solidify in between dunkings, but that's completely optional. So get you a decent sized skillet, put your fire up to about medium high. Get your oil. Now I'm using vegetable oil just because it's the cheapest you can get. You can use any kind of cooking oil to do this, olive oil if you're rich and all that kind of stuff, but I am broke, so it is vegetable or canola oil. I think it's right about 1.5 cups to 2 cups. I kind of eyeballed it. Just make sure it's covered up and there's about 1/4 inch so your chicken fried steak ain't just sitting on the bottom. By doing that, you want to get you a pot and go ahead and get that started over there. Always read your instructions on your packet potatoes, right? So this is 2 cups of water goes in this one. We're going to go ahead and start heating that up while we're waiting for our oil to heat up. Put your 2 cups in there and bring that to a boil. Okay, just keep an eye on that while you're doing it. So now you got this. Now you can kind of feel when the heat's coming off of it, or you can always just drop a little piece in there to see if it's boiling. It doesn't have to bubble immediately because the oil will heat up. You just got to keep an eye on it. You see, like the oil is hot, but it's not skipping and bubbling, popping and cracking and stuff. It's just warm around the edge. You can see it starts bubbling a little more. Now get you another pot. This is going to be for your gravy stuff. So this is 1.5 cups of water. You're going to go ahead and get that up to heat and start to boil. And then realize that burner is fucking busted. Move all the junk off of it and move it onto the burner that actually works. Because the oven's stupid, or stovetop is stupid. Yep, that's been on 10 minutes. That doesn't work. Stupid thing. Yeah. So, under this, now you'll see the edges starting to cook, and that's when you know you can flip this. You can just flip it with a fork, or you can get some spatchy tongs, which is one of the best things in the world to flip it. If it's not quite brown and if it's just starting to yellow, leave it in there. Now, back to your mashed potatoes. Now, you can't just dump it and put it in there. Then you need to lose that, and we need that pot in a minute. So go ahead and put it into a bowl and pour the boiling water onto the mashed potatoes, because you got to remove it from the heat as soon as you do it in there. Put that in there, get you a fork. You'll notice it starts to thicken immediately. Man, it's better living through chemistry and science. You get instant mashed potatoes and no lumps, which is quite nice. And you have a way to serve this. We'll set that over there. Realize that burner doesn't work anymore. Put it on there. Now you can kind of see it. It's not just yellowing on the edges. It's more of a brown color. These things, flip it. Be careful, especially flip it towards yourself because that grease. You see those bubbles? Most of that is just from the flour that's coming off of it, so don't worry about that too much. Okay. Now get your bowl, 1/2 cup of water into the bowl, and put your gravy mix into that. And again, just follow the instructions. You don't want to go fishing through the garbage to find it. Get that 1/2 cup, put your mix in it, feed it with a fork. I've never had brown gravy that didn't have lumps in it. Just like Grandma used to make it, the lumpier the stuff better. The lumps in gravy is love. So go ahead and take that gravy and pour it right into that 1.5 cups of that boiling water over the side. Get you a nice spatula scraper thing and get all of it out of that bowl. Now keep that bowl, by the way, because you're going to just put it right back in there. And it's still the same gravy, so don't worry about it. And it helps you reduce a little bit of your, what's the term I'm looking at? Helps you reduce your dishwashing later. So now that comes back to a boil with all your love lumps in it, you gotta be careful to get that nice and stirred. Now this is again browned on the edges already, so you don't want to spend too much. I think I ended up putting right at 4 to 6 minutes on either side. Pull it out. Now see all that dark spot? That's where the blood was cooking. So go ahead and just do your second one. Now it's going to stretch. It's going to have flour. When you hit it with the grease, that's what those bubbles are. That's the excess flour absorbing all that kind of stuff and burning, not burning, but heating up. So now that your gravy's all nice and super warm and lumpy with love, I'm gonna mash it and try to get the lumps out of it. Just put it right back in that bowl you had it. Because it just, all it's got in there is concentrated gravy. That'll help break it up. So get you a small pot,
or a big pot if you got a big can. I got the single serve corn. Just go ahead and put that in there and put it on low to medium, like not very high, like there you go. You just want to heat these up. All the canned stuff. All right, and this is my single serving small skillet bachelor thing. Go ahead and put your green beans in that. We just need something to heat it up with. Smaller's fine. I was going to use my cast iron, but I didn't want to dirty it. And put those on there, let it heat up, and here's the trick. Make sure that those can lids, if it can't come off because my cutter starts, like it's like my can opener just doesn't work, put it all the way in there. That's Frank's law. We do that because our friend Frank got cut. So I put my lumpy gravy on top of my potatoes, like with a bowl. It helps keep them warm, and it helps me just keep beating on those lumps if you want to take them out. Now, once these start steaming, these are done. Don't pull these out. And your chicken fried steaks are both done because you cooked those. Trick is get you a big plate, the biggest plate you got, and hopefully it'll have a lip on it, like right here. That'll help keep your gravy and stuff from running all over to the floor. But that's it. This is a full meal, man. It was well under our stuff. Our budget at like $10. Right, this is outstanding. This is what we used to get all the time, and I got a lot of stories about that if you ever want me to come back and tell you. Now, people will argue that this is country fried steak instead of chicken fried steak because of the brown gravy, but that's just a traditional thing. I do it because I have to eat this. Now, if you want to see me do it again later with the cream gravy, I'll do that on camera because, again, I get to eat all this stuff. But this is great. This made enough for 2 big meals, right, even with the single-serve vegetables because I held those off. This is outstanding. It's a southern date night food. I would definitely suggest trying this, man. Again, if I do it again, I'll probably do some different sides. Probably leave the potatoes in. Again, there'll probably be a link down in the doobly-doo on our video on how we do potatoes. But this is outstanding, y'all. Y'all need to try it.
Now the AC is off. I can get into this. So there you have it. This is, like I said, this is how my grandmother had it. It's not necessarily Busy Bee Cafe, Santa Fe style. I get that, and like I said, if somebody says that it's not southern gravy because it's brown or whatever, my grandmother used to make it, and she said, I'm from the South, therefore, southern gravy, bite me. So, if you do it differently, you want to see us do it differently, you want to see me try to figure out how to actually do cream gravy properly, other than over a campfire, let us know. Put it down in the comments, put it down in the doobly-doo. We'll revisit this. I want to do hamburger steak, I want to do chicken fried steak, country fried steak, all this kind of stuff. I love it, mostly because I get to eat all the food myself, because I'm home alone, and there's this pandemic thing, and I get to eat the food that I show you guys, which is outstanding. It's one of the benefits of putting on one of these shows. But let us know it. If you don't want to put it here, if you don't want to put it here, find it over on the social medias, man. We're on all of those. They're on the interwebs. You can find us at Facebook, Pinterest, and Patreon. You can find us at all those at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can also find us on Instagram at Living Between. And I'll see you next time. I'm going to go eat some chicken fried steak. Oh, this looks so good. All right, I'll catch you next time.